Okay, good evening. Welcome to the December 16, 2014 meeting of the Petaluma Community Access Board of Directors. Would our secretary please call the roll?
Cindy Thomas.
Present.
Kathy Rivas.
Present.
Neil Fishman.
It's Christmas Day.
Here.
Present.
Rachel Moran.
Here.
Mark Carmito.
Check.
Tim Williamson.
Here.
I'm here and John's here.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I was referring.
You want me to move this?
Present.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a quorum. That's good. Thank you, everybody, for coming out in such bad weather. Let's see. We have nobody for public comment tonight that I'm aware of. For Board of Directors comments and announcements, anything? Anything? No?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, I want to point out that the city is fully engaged in social media, starting last week with the little flood problems, where the police are using nextdoor.com, and Public Works is using Facebook tons, and then also Nixle. So, no excuses.
I know, my phone went on overload.
I'm sorry about your battery. Well, not really.
I got a new battery. Okay. Anything else?
I'm glad we could get you a new battery. That'll do it.
Thank you. Okay, I guess I would just comment and say that I attended a Final Cut Pro X workshop here on last Saturday. It was a full day course and it was excellent. If you guys want to learn about editing, you know, even if just to look at it and see how it's done, I'd take the class. Even if you're not going to use it, it's good class. Really puts it all into perspective. I'm going to put it to use, but
You know more than I do now.
I do?
Yeah, I haven't gone near 10.
I know more than the Bertucci.
I don't go near 10.
What does that
Not since
software
NLE,
cost for a home computer?
What is it, about 500, 800 now?
Ooh.
Used to be 2,000 or 3,000, but they put out a new one that's much cheaper.
There's an
and
express
Oh, Dan
also.
checked the price for me while we were in the
Yeah.
class. It was less than $300.
less than $300.
Yes.
For a full suite?
No, not for the full suite. The full suite was in the 4-digit range. It was like 1,000. Yeah.
So, and this is the Cadillac version of,
It's the new version that Final Cut put out, and
but Final Cut itself is the top
The program.
editing
yeah,
software.
It's the Macintosh, the main Macintosh program for editing. And it went through 1 through 7. 7 was high def, and that's when they overloaded their system. So they redesigned a new platform, and they changed the terminology and the metaphor.
They changed the program.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have any reference to film. No more trim bins or, you know. And I grew up with film, so I know all about that.
Cut and paste.
Now, instead of exporting, you share. And it goes right to Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah. Just a lot of nice things. Yeah, just grab it and drag it. Okay, well, let's put this here, let's put this here. Oh, let's put some of this in here. TV,
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, we had a full house for that class. And we've already got a waiting list for the next one. So.
That's great.
And everybody that was in that class is going to be working on projects. They weren't just in it for playtime.
I think
Just
so.
about everybody that was in there is,
Had a,
well, if they weren't, they left talking about projects that they were going to do, so.
yeah, we
Maybe
charge.
we got some stuff coming.
Yeah, we charge $60 for members, $100 for non-members. And even at $100, it's a third the price of what you'd pay to get the same thing somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, we're a community resource.
Yeah, we should do an ad about that. Come take Final Cut. Okay, enough said. Anything else? Okay, agenda approval. Everybody's looked at the agenda. And is there anything that we need to delete, modify, move around? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
So
the
moved.
agenda? Is there a second?
Second?
Anyone opposed? Okay, approved. Minutes of the November 18, 2014 board meeting. Everybody have a chance to look at those, and if so, do we have any corrections? Everything look good?
Move to approve the minutes.
Can we get a second?
Sure.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'll abstain,
Abstention?
yep.
One abstention.
Abstain.
Williamson, you're gonna abstain also? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can't approve. Wait,
Yes, you can.
4.
I approve.
yeah, we can. 4.
Mhm.
I forget these days. How many do we have? All right, we can approve them. Treasurer's report, please.
Everything looks fine. I don't really have a report. We did have
Have a meeting.
We had a finance meeting. We looked through all the financials. Next year is looking really strong, and there's lots of cash and reserves, and the budget that's for next year looks like it's more than balanced, and there's not much else to report. The continued excellent financial management by our
Thank you,
by
Mr.
our staff.
Treasurer. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Can we get the executive director's version
Take
of the treasurer's report now, please?
like with some detail to it. I talked to her. I said I haven't read that damn thing in
do
a
you think
week, and
told
I'm
him
not
what to
going
say?
to again.
Well, yes, so we've got financial issues on the agenda twice. Have a report on the meeting the finance committee met, and we have a vote to approve the draft review of the financial review.
Okay.
And the only thing I would add to the balance sheet, let's see if I can find my notes on that. We now have 3 accounts.
Yay.
I
Do we have all
shipped-
the paperwork done on that yet?
I got check
Everything's
signing
every-
is in here too. I got check signing.
Oh, okay.
I think is it on the agenda or in
Yeah,
my
it
I was
is.
report?
looking
It's on
for
the-
that.
Yeah, well, we only need two people now still have to sign and we're done. But let me finish with the financial
Yes.
report. We have 3 accounts. I took $25,000 out of the temporarily restricted. Actually, it's restricted. Working that out with Torkelson and the review, it's money that we made off of capital assets. It counts as a capital expense budget.
We need a new accountant. I don't buy that.
No, I think the board could move to redesignate it.
Right,
That-
oh, right,
The board
okay.
would take down on the responsibility for that
Right.
fiduciary action. But
Correct.
I had parked 25,000 in there. That was the carryover surplus at the end of the last 2 years, 15,000 at the end of fiscal year 12-13, and at the end of 13-14 we had 10,000. So that is now in what's called a reserve operating account. So we have 25,000 in that. We got our Comcast check. I had to call to get the Comcast check. I think that got stalled in new staff.
You figured out who to talk to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got the AT&T went up a bit, Comcast went down a bit.
Oh, John, did you check on that one issue that we talked about? There was a, it appeared that the revenues had gone down. Had they actually, or?
Well, that's part of the problem of the next thing I was going to say is
Yeah.
that Brooke ran into a problem. She realized she'd been making a mistake in accounting our income, and it's tied into the peg fees, which are a very soft number, very squirrely, because we budget for the year with 4 quarters, but the check doesn't come in till 6 weeks after the quarter's over, if we're lucky. This last one was like 8 or 9. So we have money that we're spending to operate that doesn't get into the bank till the fiscal year's over for the last quarter or the second quarter of the year. What we do is I take an estimate of what I think is going to come in. I stay conservative. I put it up there as the number. This is the income from peg fees. Brooke breaks that into 12 parts and she assigns the proportion to each month. So we have that money, even though it's not in the bank or it's on its way, we have a number that will give us an operating budget. What she hasn't been doing is she hasn't been putting AT&T in that. She's been counting AT&T as over and above expenses, as an income. So I have AT&T figured into one number and she's adding it. So she has redone all the It was only the budget performance, the two sheet, which gives you the spread of what's spent and what's not. She's redone all those for this fiscal year.
Didn't we have that problem last year?
That was
That
a
was-
different problem.
But it was in
And it was-
relationship to the PEG fees?
Yeah, it was in relation to the fake fees, and that got noted in the review.
And that was just 1 month.
That was just
occurrence.
1 month, one misaligned.
And why does it take 9 weeks to get it?
Legally, Comcast has 6 weeks to turn it over to the city. The check goes to the city and then gets rewritten to us. And as I understand it, there was a change in the finance director at the city, and the new person really didn't have us on the radar, so I had to kind of wake him up.
It was him.
So that
It's a hit, Scott.
shouldn't happen in the future then?
It shouldn't, no.
No,
But it's kind of
there was no
built
real
in.
problem here, and the cash flow was fine. And
Yeah.
It was just, it looked inconsistent with what we expected in terms of the cash in revenues, or the revenues themselves, but it appears that that's not the case. And,
Yeah, it's pretty much an accounting
yeah.
trope to kind of balance the books. They put a parentheses around the loss, but it's not really a loss because the money's going to come. But we'll get into the review itself, because I did have some other questions. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
yes, that's our financial report.
Okay, thank you, John, and you can just move right into your executive director's report now, if you will,
Okay.
please.
Well, a lot to report, kiddos. It's been hopping around here. We got 3 stakeholders for the low-powered FM radio license. We got them together in the office here on Monday.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and it was last week, Monday, and we had a fellow named Clay Leander came in. He works with Common Frequency. It's a nonprofit in San Francisco, like Prometheus Radio, which is on the East Coast. They're nonprofits that work to help people get radio stations, basically. Free speech and that. And he came in with a lot of really good ideas. He really helped us frame what we were trying to do. If I can summarize shortly, the FCC gave us a license, said, okay, you got your license, but you overlap with Sonoma and Napa, so you 3 are mutually exclusive on the same bandwidth, which means we would have to share the week. And if we don't come up with our sharing plan, they will impose it, and they will just arbitrarily give us 56 hours. Each of us gets 56 hours. But the problem, if they impose it, then we lose the license and we'd have to reapply to get it back again. So as our engineer, as our engineering consultant said, I don't know anybody dumb enough not to submit a plan. And so the problem was getting the people in the same room, and as Cindy knows from the last experience, sometimes people fight over certain time slots. So we were a little edgy, and we weren't getting much response, but Zach was working really hard. But everybody came, and Clay came, and we have worked out a grid almost. I should file my stuff better. Here we go, the grid. So Petaluma would be blue, Sonoma is red, and Napa is green. And there's extra time that the others don't want, so I think we might inherit that, so we could just continue. Pass this around. My logic, talking with Zach, is that if we have to split up the week with others, how do we build loyalty with our audience that knows that PCA has a radio, or Petaluma has a radio on what days? So I didn't want it checkerboarded all over the map. I wanted to just take a whole day. And so I started the ball rolling by picking 2 days that were open here, and then I grabbed Sunday night, which I thought was a good night. And I think we'll inherit those other 2 slots, because the other stakeholders came up with their selection today. Now, Clay came to the meeting and said, whenever Sonoma is not broadcasting, Napa and Petaluma could broadcast at the same time, because we're far enough apart, simultaneously.
Does the FCC have to okay that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he can call up the FCC and talk to the right person, so that's a pretty solid idea, but it takes a certain amount of collaborative agreement, and we didn't know they players, and you know, if Sonoma wanted, if we wanted to be fair, then we'd all get 16 hours, when Napa and Petaluma would simultaneously broadcast, and Sonoma wouldn't. The idea of the shared timing is that we have to turn our radio off when they're broadcasting. But Clay also said that he thinks that with a little massaging, we could probably get another antenna position and have it 24/7. He thinks everybody could get 24/7 if they played with different positions. He also knows that the FCC, they do their charts by mileage. If you tell them that there's a mountain in between that's going to block the signal, it might help. So there's lots of wiggle room. The first thing we did as a group was we asked the FCC to give us an extension. We had to make this plan by December 14th. Zach and Clay worked on that, sent it into the FCC, and we got approved the next day. So now our deadline is January 14th.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
was
amazing.
quick.
Yeah, we were thrilled. And Clay's a big help because he can call up the guy who sent us the email in the beginning. So we've got till January 14th. This we would send in if we can't get any of the other plans off the ground. And even after we send this in, the thing could evolve and the changes could be made, as long as they're mutually agreeable between the three parties.
Is there ways, once this is started, I mean, and after you position your antennas, that you can prove that everything works, that we're not interfering with each other? Is there, or is that just not practical?
We'd have to get the license to test it. And so, yeah, they'd have to say, we'd have to make the argument ahead of time.
Do you have any idea what our programming is going to be?
It's up to you. I mean, it's open to the public. A lot of the late night stuff, obviously, we won't be coming in with staff to open up the room, but
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because on the programming, I recall from the last time we had to have so many hours of programming.
4 is what we have. 4 hours a week we have to have live programming. The rest can be repeated.
Okay, but, well, that's what I'm saying, is that we can't have dead air time, right? I mean, there's a certain amount where we have to be, whether it's in the can or live.
And I think it's the amount is what we claim. But I think,
And so we have to have something to fill
yeah,
all 56 hours during
yeah,
the
we
week.
would have playback. We would have loops.
Exactly, but we can't have any dead air time.
As far as I understand.
That's, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I remember from the last time, is that we were worried about what we were gonna put on.
Yeah.
So we'd have to get busy with that.
We also, at the present time, we're thinking of putting the antenna on the JC campus, which opens up the door to a curriculum for radio broadcasting. There's a partnership there. So that the next step is we got this, if we get to the 14th and we don't have a better plan, we submit this, and we can work off of this and change it again, but we keep the door open. Then after we've made all our arguments and the FCC has given us a final ruling and we've got our final grid, we still have 18 months to make it work before we lose the license.
Now, if we had an antenna at the JC, would we be able to get a portable studio and do broadcasts out in the field like butter and egg?
I think anywhere where you can get a telephone line, you can do a broadcast.
Telephone line?
Wireless line.
Oh.
Yeah, if you get into that grid, you can send your signal audio. That's what we were doing here. We were sending, and we had a very slow connection to City Hall booth, but we could use it for audio. Audio is not as heavy as video.
Right.
So we could send live audio
That
to
might be
City
fun
Hall.
to have our own platform at butter and egg.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to do political, controversial, can't do it?
No, there's no censorship.
No censorship. No censorship, but it is the airwaves, so it
You
has
got
to
the
be...
FCC, yeah.
So
No
do you-
libel, obscenity, those
No
kinds of
obscenity. It's not like a cable channel where you can use obscenity or you can whatever.
You could have your own Rush Limbaugh show.
Well, that's what I was thinking would be wonderful. You know, you could read the paper and just comment on it and
Yeah.
rant and rave, but you have to be careful with And there won't be any tape delays, or do we have that possibility?
I
or
don't
not?
know that much I haven't
Yeah.
known that level of technical.
Okay,
I don't know if I could do that. Keep mind my P's and Q's.
so with
Cindy
this
probably had
grid,
the problem too.
so with this grid, and the FCC approves it, let's say as it is, and we fill in blue with the other cells. If after the approval, Sonoma says we can have so many hours of their time and gives it to us, can they be less 56 and we be more than 56?
They're already less than 56. That's what leaves the white cells on this.
Well, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is if they say, well, this is too much work for us, you want part of our 56
Yeah, they
hours.
could bow out.
We don't have to reapply and
No.
to notify the FCC. We just have to, as long as we're playing nice out here, they don't care.
They don't care.
Okay.
And according to Clay, not everybody plays nice. He's got another mutually exclusive package in San Francisco, and they're all fighting.
Okay, and then my last question is do we have to reapply if we get a new antenna at the JC?
If we change our antenna, we have to submit that.
Is it because it'll be on a different frequency or?
Yeah, they have to have it. It has to be vetted by an engineering consultant.
Okay, I got you.
We had
I
somebody,
got you. All
somebody
right.
from Seattle that did that.
There's Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, and it can be done. It can be even done after we start. We can evolve and change. As long as our partners, our mutually exclusive partners, are in accord, the FCC is not going to care. But Clay was confident that, we could get a lot more hours if we're creative, and we might even get 24/7, all three of us, if we just play around with our positioning.
This sounds worth it to me.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to keep the door open all the way through. See where we go. Well, I got a lot more to report on, so let's
Right.
keep moving. I've got the check signing cards. Marcia came in as secretary. She had about 10 signatures to put on. And got Kathy's. So all I need now are Rachel and Cindy, and you have 2 signatures on 3 different documents. So
You have mine?
you came in, didn't you?
No, I'm not on the signing card. I don't think.
Okay, no, it was Neil. Neil
Okay.
came in. So I have Neil, Marcia, and myself.
I know you
are
want
signed.
me to be on there, but I'm not.
So, Cindy, you have to sign each one of these in 2 different places.
Do you want me to do it now or after the meeting?
Do it now. Let's do it now while I'm talking. Pass it.
Okay.
That's done.
Do you have little arrows where I'm supposed to sign?
No, but you'll
Okay, I
see
see.
the first one, and then
I see. Okay, keep going.
okay. The annual report. I sent out a draft to that. And if you read it, you saw that I'm making a proposition to combine the report and the plan into the same sort of package and try to get them done between May and July. Because this is a real headache to go back in November after this summer when I was just, every day was a new thrill.
A new adventure.
Yeah, I was having trouble getting back to the data. It's just, so we are in compliance. We will submit this with the financial review. And production services, we used the studio here for, hired out to Michael Nagler of Meta Center. He had an audio book he wanted to
I'll send it
record.
over there.
And we are exploring production services for different options.
Was he satisfied? Do you like the?
Yeah, he was quite satisfied. And Thomas worked with him, and Thomas has got a little shopping list of things we can do to make
Great.
better. But obviously, if we had a radio booth, that would be, we'd have top-notch microphones and as soundproof as you can get in this building.
Can this work as a radio booth?
It could, but I think my office is where it's going to go. That's a perfect venue for it. It's got the window, it's enough room for 3 guests. And
Are we putting you upstairs again?
no, I'll probably move into that little cubby between off the maybe I'll start coming in less often. Things could evolve.
Telecommute?
Telecommute, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that evolves.
Sorry, I signed these 3 things, but I see it looks like I'm supposed to sign here too.
Yeah, each one has 2. Each
There's a
each
third
account
page,
has 2 signatures.
Oh, did I not sign enough stuff?
There's a third page. Just on the third page.
I'll double check before you.
Okay.
You didn't send this one.
We were sponsors of the Aquas Film and Video Mixer. Thomas and Max went over and did part of that. It was on December
Page
11th
Page
at
3,
the
yeah.
Arts Center. I wasn't able to make it. I was exhausted because I had the film lecture the night before and the night after.
That's too bad. That was a
And-
really stormy night.
Yeah, it was.
That was the big flooding everywhere.
Yeah,
Did they have to show up?
Tuesday.
Did people show up?
Yeah, they showed up. Thomas said it wasn't packed and it moved pretty fast. He was a little frustrated, but he was able to get a pitch in for PCA, and he was able to tell people all that we can do for them. But these are really mixers with your business card looking for work, and since we don't really, we're not a production company that hires crews, we weren't really what they're looking for. Cindy told you about the media classes. We've got a camera class. If you wanted to check out our high def new cameras, you need to take a class, and Zach is teaching that on the 12th of January.
About how much do one of those high def cameras cost us?
About 2,500.
How many do we have?
6.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
Yeah, we're good shape. I think it's 6, might be 5.
Any weddings coming back? Or
No, no weddings.
people used to check out our video stuff and go do jobs.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
So the last thing on here, let me see, there was another note I wanted to add, some stuff.
Art of Cinema.
The Art of Cinema. Neil was up.
I only went to 2. I was going to go to the last one, and then my brother called me about noon and said that it's his annual pub crawl, which only goes until about 6, and I figured I'd be done and I could go to John's lecture, and being a, staid member of the community, I didn't assume I would drink too much.
And
But-
you had to crawl home
But the
instead of...
best laid plans.
Thank you for not driving.
Yeah, it was, I would say, a big success.
The first 2 were terrific.
The first 2,
Really,
the first one we
really
put out
wonderful.
35 chairs and pulled out another 10. And then the second one we put out 45 chairs and pulled out another 10. And it was growing, and it was great. I think we lost momentum when we broke for Thanksgiving. People forgot about it. They'd already done it. It wasn't a new thing anymore. We did get some press in the Argus finally on the second round, but then the rains hit. So we had about 25 the other 2 nights. But people were, if you're not a film buff, it might have gone a bit long.
For some people it went long, but if you're a film buff, it was just a pleasure. It
Yeah.
was really, really fun.
Yeah. And I think we've really bonded with the Arts Center, and we'll be doing more.
That's good.
Val was there all 4 times. We had a donated popcorn maker. It was just fun. Wine and beer served. So the last item on the director's report, staff and board Christmas party. Well, I gotta say that nothing's been done with that plan since it was suggested at the last staff meeting. So if it happens, you will all get an email, and it'll be a BYOB with a white elephant. It may still happen, but I am exhausted, so I'm not gonna be the one making it happen. If the staff wants to rally around it, off we go. But it's just, we're gonna use the lounge to enjoy our company on Tuesday night next week. Maybe. But I'm not gonna cry big tears if it doesn't happen.
Calendar.
There was one other thing, if I can quickly find it. I'm just gonna pass this board address around. If there's any corrections to make, I can then make a board binder for Mark.
Come on, you're holding things up.
Come on, Madam Chair. Gotta get to the consent
I'm putting
calendar.
this holiday party on here. I
Don't
heard
wanna miss
BYOB.
that.
I gotta get this on here now.
I mean, I-
Bring your own food.
Bring our own food.
A pot, I called it.
Okay. What else, John?
That's it for the report. Good report. Got it now.
Okay, I got too much stuff on there.
Go on.
Okay, we have nothing on the consent calendar. thank you, John, for your executive director's report.
You're most
We have nothing on the consent calendar. For reports of committees, no executive committee meeting. There was a finance committee meeting, and I believe Mr. Treasurer is going to report out on that.
Yeah, well, we did the financial report, and then we went over the financial review, and I'll let John go into the detail, but the financial review is clean, everything looks good. We're no longer doing a full audit, but every year, and this was just basically a review, and they go over to see whether our accounting practices are good, if they have any concerns about what we're up to, and everything from our accountant's perspective looks good. And we're recommending that we approve the financial review.
No findings?
There were no, there was very little of anything. Was there any findings?
There weren't any findings in the
I don't think
classic
there were.
sense. I think findings really goes with a full
With
audit.
a full audit, yeah.
But we had 2 findings with quotes around them that we developed in conversation. I'm working with David at Torkelson, and he was the one who suggested that I should split the money up and not keep the reserve money with the sold equipment money. And then the other finding was he asked me to go through the depreciation schedule, which is in a whole nother format and language than our inventory, and I just decided that this was the year we were going to collate the 2
Right.
and liquidate as much as we can, just because that was the number that you were concerned about. There's a number on a minus 8,825.
Huh?
That's depreciation.
Oh,
So
Oh,
it's an accounting.
accumulated depreciation over that year.
So it's our net assets, and then there's corresponding money where. Where are my notes? When we talked about the new account, the impact on whether that would change the review, can the board unrestrict those funds? He said the board can do what it wants, but he'd recommend not, because it's money that came from capital. I asked him about how he dates.
Stop for a second.
Yeah.
So capital, as we've typically spent it, could be basically anything. It's not typically a capital asset item or a fixed asset that's depreciated. We just spend the capital money and expense it.
Yeah,
So
that's what I thought.
we don't have to redesignate it. We just keep doing what we're doing and not redesignate it. That's what's Torkelson's.
No, the point is if we sold a trailer, well, production unit trailer, paid 60,000. I think we got 25 for it, 20, and that was a depreciable asset. And now the money from that went into a bank, and we offered to put it back in the city's capital expense fund. The city didn't want it, so that's why we opened up the other
Right.
account.
So we just call that capital, but typically we have used a capital account like this one that
Yeah.
the city's held
Yeah.
and bought small ticket items.
Yeah, I'm sure the board can do that.
Well,
Right now it's-
we've always done that anyway, and I'm wondering why would we want to recategorize it? Because recategorizing it into a different, putting it in a different bucket of money, if you will, means that we could spend it for expenses and not capital.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have to use it on leasehold improvements and big equipment and stuff. We've always used that bucket of money on small ticket items, regardless.
I think it was to hold ourselves accountable to the original intent of that money, which was the city didn't want to take back, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but so what we're calling it and what we're using it for is really, it's like, doesn't matter.
What do you want to call it?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think we need to
Reassign it.
reassign it or
Yeah.
redesignate it.
Well,
I don't think we need to.
no, and it's very safe where it is.
We'll call it the I don't care account.
Okay.
What else?
CDK.
It was an interesting distinction. They have the the summarized comparative totals, and they have program services and supporting services. I'm supporting service. Staff is the program service.
Mhm.
I thought that was interesting. But we got a clean bill. There were, the two findings would then have been the inventory and the extra bank account. There are 3 adjusting journal entries, and one of them is related to access fees, and I believe that was the problem we had last summer. It was caught pretty quickly, but it gave us a start because it put us in the red, if you remember. And when we have approved it, Neil has to sign these 2 documents, and off it goes.
I'll move approval.
Well, we'll get to that. We're still in the report on the, are we there yet? We're in the committee.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, by the way. I knew about the findings. I
Yeah,
want transparency
Yeah.
to be evident in everything that we do.
Oh, I see the financial, I see, we
Yeah,
we have
we're
to
in
go down
the
there. New
reports on the
business.
committees, so
Okay.
we met and came up with some questions, and I went over and talked to him. Had him
I know you
redraft.
took care of
Yeah.
everything. Good job, thank you.
Redraft the letter to put your name in instead of mine. And the reason he had squiggled out the date is because the operative date is the date that they put on the top. And if we change that date, then they gotta change that, and they gotta open everything up and make sure everything in between the 2 dates is, so. That's to be signed. I'm getting to the bottom of my pile. That's it.
So do we need to move approval of that?
It's on the new business.
Oh, it's under, okay.
This was just a
I'm trying to do
report.
it too soon.
I have a
Jumping the gun.
question
Jumping again.
about the finance committee. Do we need to take Matt's name off of that committee?
Yes, I probably did.
I thought
Well,
we did too,
yeah, I
but
had
it's
that
there.
circled here to,
Yeah, okay.
he's on policies and procedures
Oh,
also,
yes,
but I was
still
gonna
Anybody
save
else
that
want to be
for,
on the finance committee? You can
well,
do it.
we got
can-
that on the, we have that on the
Oh,
agenda.
Okay.
You have to agendize your items, Mr. Treasurer.
I'm a free-form kind of guy.
I know. I can tell.
I like this
Gotta do it when you
this
think of it.
mindless planning stuff.
We should
It's just not my
absorb,
thing.
we should have, I move we do Hippie's Rules of Order instead of Robert's.
Correctamundo.
Anybody remember Jackie Gleason? I just do them, I don't explain them.
Okay.
Away we go.
So what do we need to do to remove Matt from those committees? Do we need to?
Cross his name
We
off.
need to
Just
wait
cross
until
his
we
name.
get to that part of the
Okay.
agenda and
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that. That's okay.
I'm sorry,
Can't you follow the agenda?
I can't.
We're not there
I'm
yet.
not good at it.
Madam
As you
Vice
can
Chair.
tell.
That
Madam
makes 2 of
Vice
you.
Chair.
As you can
Point
tell,
of
I'm not
order.
good at it.
Yeah. You're freeform too.
Okay, yeah, I know, that's fine. How many, we've got enough here to vote in the Hippies Rules of Order.
I'm abstaining.
Nominating committee
Pardon
did
me.
not meet, none of these other committees met, so, and thank you for your report, by the way, Neil. Under old business, the
Not so
first
proud.
item, 10A, is discussion only of operational transition to new staff structure. John's item.
Yeah. Big news in there. I mean, I put out a posting for the open position, which I'm calling a technical specialist, which is I don't know if you remember Max, when Kate and Max were here. Max was a technical specialist, and Van came in and took that position. And now Zach has it, but I think we might do better to redesignate him as technical consultant. He puts in about anywhere from 4 to 12 hours a week, and has been crucial those last few weeks, doing a lot at City Hall, a lot with the radio. So I put out a Craigslist ad on December 1st. I have gotten, where is it? We got 14 applications.
Wow.
Wow.
7 are in Petaluma, 3 are outside. Only 3 were ones I would strike out. So we have a total of 11 people to review. And there were some
That's
really
great.
interesting people.
That's
in there.
great.
And 3 of them are young ladies, 2 of whom have worked here before. I'll start just by saying that the first person that came in really was Eli Cavazos, who helped us set up City Hall. And he was a technical wizard, really a
We've been trying to
top-notch.
get him a long time, haven't we? We've been trying to get him for a long time, hadn't we?
He's out of our league.
Yeah,
But-
is he the guy from Vallejo? He was originally over in
No,
Vallejo?
that was the guy who was married to the teacher at,
He was here and they moved it to
Just a
Okay.
point of order here. Since we're talking about personnel matters and we're on the tube, maybe
And
this
I'm
should
gonna be
be,
talking about the
should be a
candidates.
closed session
Well,
item.
I'll state general then.
Yeah.
Just to say that we
Yeah.
have some real good applicants. I'm meeting with Eli tomorrow because he is a consultant. I can bring him on as a consultant. I think that would be he works at Cron as a consultant. He helped Zach help Zach put together the City Hall configuration after we inherited PCA from the abandoning regime. And he was marvelous. He taught Zach a lot. Then he got a job up in Tahoe, and then he sends in a resume and he says, I'm in Bodega Bay and I'd love to work with you guys. Well, he talked right away and we figured out that he isn't the person who would be on staff, but he's a real asset. I'm going to meet with him tomorrow and see how he can help. And as far as, maybe we could hire him to supervise the inventory triage, and he could train the person we hire in that process. And he certainly could help us with the radio. So it's a very interesting development. So that leaves us with 10. We have one in Sebastopol, one in Novato, and one in the 510 area, and 7 in Petaluma. And I'm looking for help. My initial plan was to hire this person this Saturday, but I think with the weight of the review, I don't think I can pull it off that fast. But if there's anybody on the board who wants to join forces in this process, I can give you a stack of resumes. I'm trying to get Zach in, but Zach's been doing a lot, so I'm not sure he's going to
I'll go through a stack for you,
be. Okay,
right, and mark them up.
good.
But Kathy's gonna do the interviews for me. I think you'll laugh.
Thank you.
I'm going to start doing this tomorrow here, so.
They're all yours.
I'll read them right now. Close
There's an
in.
inventory, and then there's all the resumes, and
I want to make you weigh in on everything from this point forward, see if you're paying attention.
Huh?
That's what I thought.
okay, thank you, Tim.
Are you going to do interviews on Saturday or try to?
I'd like to try to. Otherwise, it's going to be, I'm going to start phone interviews as soon as I get through this. And
How many of these are you gonna interview on Saturday? All of them? You better call them now. It's already Tuesday.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
gonna
it's
say,
actually,
that's
it's
not
already Wednesday.
much notice.
Yeah, well, I thought I would have fewer and start making my calls last week.
You wanna weed them out, maybe do 5 on Saturday and have the other 5 in the wings? First choice, second choice?
Definitely. I think we can also build in an initial interview leading to a final interview the first week of January. I think that's
Okay,
real.
I just
I'm
don't
available on
want,
Saturday. If
yeah,
You
I,
are.
I am.
You are.
I just don't want anybody to be limited because they're not available for an interview in the next 2 Saturdays, because those are both travel days for holiday.
Yeah. No, I understand.
This is your decision, right? We don't, do we?
It's
Discussion.
operations, but
Yeah.
I'd like to share the.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't need to have a
Process.
vote for you
No,
to
no,
hire
no, no,
staff.
We
no.
kick them under the table when it's just discussion item.
No, my concern is that I really want to get back to these people quickly. So I am going to be responding to them in the next 3 days
Perfect.
with a plan, with an initial kind of phone interview. And if they make it through the phone interview, then I will keep them online that we're going to make.
That might be a
I'll
better
take
idea.
a stack of,
That might be a better idea, just screen them and then just go for the phone interview as you can get
I'll
them.
take a stack if I'm
I'll
gonna.
make this happen.
Zach,
It's
okay,
the only-
okay,
the only
okay.
tough thing. I can do that before you leave
Okay.
later
Okay.
this week.
okay. Are all of them in here?
Not the 3 that I took out, because we had one from El Cerrito, one from San Francisco, and one who wasn't qualified.
Oh, okay, but I'm gonna be looking at the same thing he was
Same
looking at, so, okay,
stuff.
so we'll all mark them
No, I'm
up and
looking
give
at
them
this
back.
one.
So,
See, that's
yeah.
what
See, don't knock it over.
That's what happens when you're nasty. Everything falls in your lap.
Nasty.
Yeah.
one.
Bad things happen to bad people. Okay.
Chill, bro.
okay.
Chill, bro.
Sorry, John.
Hippies rules.
What else, John, on this?
No, my concern is that there are some really interesting people here. I want to get back to them because it's been about 2 weeks. Some of them have already written the second time. How's it going? So I will have a better sense. I don't think we're going to fast track it to make the decision before Christmas.
Mm-mm.
No. But I do want the people who are in the running to know that they're in the running and that we're going to want to see them as soon as we can. Maybe the first Saturday of January.
Should reach out to them in the next few days anyway.
Yeah. Well, I always respond to everybody who applies, even if I say sorry, that everybody gets an email. So there's only 3 this time, and maybe in the phone interviews, while I'm talking to them this week, I'll be able to strike a few people out.
Do you need these back from us before you do the phone interviews?
No.
Okay.
No, I will do the phone interviews. We can meet then. Maybe we could meet sometime before Christmas and
Okay.
compare notes.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Just make sure you know how old they are, whether they're married, and what religion they are. Just kidding.
Those are the 3 things not
Not to ask them.
Are you at least 18? That's the only old question you can ask.
So.
All right.
So that is the structure. Zach's been doing marvelous work. He's still a real asset. We are experiencing a drop in membership. That started in last Christmas. Started drifting off. People almost just stopped making videos. We had a lot of turnover in our outreach department. That might have hurt us. We didn't have a concerted campaign to get new members that we talked about. But it is a noticeable drop. But in a sense, our priorities are also shifting because the next thing I was going to report on.
Hey, can I ask you a question before you go on? Did we get any response from the membership letters that we sent out last month?
Yeah. Oh no, we got renewals.
Oh, good.
And we're at the process now of renewing our maintenance policy with Facile so that Nellie can get in direct contact with the guy who designed it and so we can exploit it more effectively. That plays into the annual report, being able to pull up data. It's tricky with Facile. The main thing we've got are the member lists at the election.
Mm-hmm.
But then it fluctuates, and a lot of things go through the cracks. We've cinched that a bit more.
Have we gotten, how has our booths at the fair been in terms of getting membership?
The fair hasn't really played out. We got much more out of the Palooza and the Rivertown.
Oh, Rivertown, okay.
Rivertown's better. The fair is it's a lot of people from out of town, and and we're in a big noisy hall, and they're not interested in television. They want
I was thinking, I mean, if we had put the effort into it, maybe we could do things like film people and then tell them, well, we are going to email you this, or we'll stick a film of you at the fair on YouTube, or and then in that way get an email address and send it to them also with something telling what the benefits of joining are. And
Yeah, we tried that. We've had
We did.
We've had little photomatons, video shout-outs come and say, but they're shy or they're distracted. They got 5 kids they're trying to hold on to. The fair has never really been a payoff.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's the fair or the parade or anything
parades.
else, it might be to set something up with staff in a way that would, we have a product that we can send people, and then that becomes the lead for the pitch to join.
Yeah,
I was thinking on the top of my head.
That is scary.
Just don't try any break dance.
Don't hurt yourself.
Try not to.
So, it's been a rugged year for staff structure, and when we hired one person for outreach, and then Zach said he's going, and then the person we hired for outreach didn't work out, and then Mario said he's going. It's been a very short leash all summer long, and I'm looking forward to that week between Christmas and New Year's when we generally close. I'm going to close. But That's
We
it.
appreciate you holding it together through all
Yeah,
of that.
you really have.
Because
Keep your
it's
calm
not
and
easy
cool.
to do that when you've got huge staff turnovers and
Yeah,
everything in turmoil. So that's certainly a tribute to you
yeah, well,
and your abilities.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Excuse me, old business 10B, discussion only of Roanoke Park and Cotati City contracts.
Well, both cities have taken the issue to their council. I'll start with the easy one first. Cotati, they basically went to get approval to install cameras in their council chambers. And they had picked out a vendor who's going to do the installation, a production company. But they're going to use the list that Zach gave them for the
Shopping
equipment.
list?
The shopping list.
And that vendor's just fine with that shopping list?
Pretty much. I have to follow that through. They haven't started yet, but the point is if they put in new equipment, then we'd have to learn how to use it. The stuff Zach picked out, we know how to use, so it'll be easier. As I understand it, they don't need council approval to hire us. They've got an envelope for how much to spend to operate it. They could hire us. And we're front runners because we've been helping them from day one, and we get along really well. So I think we're a slam dunk for Cotati, but we won't know until January or February. Roanoke Park, however, basically we have it. I signed the contract, I delivered it, negotiated the contract. It was a little tricky because they used the boilerplate, and then they had insurance limits at $2 million, and when I caught that, I said, I got a check, and it would have been $1,000 a year more to bump it up. So they changed it. They took it down to $1 million. It's just working through the bits and pieces. And I signed the contract so that they could take it to the council meeting last Tuesday. And I sent an email out on Monday just to check and see what the vote was, just to confirm, and I haven't got an answer back. So I don't know what that means.
You can't watch the meeting on PCA.
Mm-mm.
Not yet. But the thing about Roanoke Park is they've got the cameras installed, a very nice setup. They've been running it with 2 operators through Santa Rosa, and one of those operators works for us. And so he's just going to transition right into that seat. So we worked out, it was a kind of back and forth. I worked a lot with Dave Rowley, and then I worked with Angie Smith.
Purchasing.
Yeah. So the contract's been signed. If the council approved it, we're in. We start January 13th doing Roanoke Park meetings.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a major breakthrough. But it's a whole nother set of concerns because that's document of the record, and we can't drop the ball. So. Going to reunite our 4 access assistants for all in the same room at the same time meeting this week. That's our goal. It's very hard to do because they're students, but they're finishing up finals, so that should be Thursday or Friday. And Chris is the one now in charge of scheduling. Mario was doing it at the front desk. He was doing a great job. We didn't drop the ball much at all. It was easy to pick it up, the little fumbles. But it was hurting the front desk performance. So we split those 2 apart. Chris now is in charge of writing herd on the access assistants. And I suspect those that we don't hire, we could get a couple of access assistants out of those resumes. So all that's left to do for Roanoke Park is to confirm that the council did say yes, get a business license, get the certificates of insurance sent to them, and we're off.
Right.
You should
Big
be able to do
time.
that in your time off.
Yeah, I thought so. My lunch break. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Send it to Tim.
I'll send it to Tim. Oh, no, Tim's
I can't help him in Roanoke Park,
got an open door policy. I can come crying.
except when it's locked.
Except when you shut it, it doesn't open up again.
Mhm.
So that badge is for.
Okay.
We'll talk about that after the meeting. Maybe we can have a, excuse me.
You wanted to make sure I was paying attention?
Item 10C under old business is discussion and possible action on a board and staff retreat. you're gonna be there, right? Okay.
You said yes.
You weren't at the last meeting, but we tentatively scheduled February 21st for the retreat from 10 to 3. We're gonna have the staff there for half the meeting.
Public comment.
Good night, Nellie. Good night.
That's my comment. Good night.
Good night.
It's Nellie.
She was brief.
February 21st,
agenda.
10 to 3.
10 to 3, right. Have the staff with us the first half of the meeting. No, the second
No,
half.
Second. Meet us at lunch and then. be
Oh,
there for the
okay.
second half. That's the way
I don't have my notes in front of me, but, so I'm just trying to
So it'll be
remember.
like 10 to 1 with us, 1 to 2, or maybe 10 to 12. I don't know, it wasn't broken up.
Mhm.
The idea was we'd meet,
Right.
then have lunch with the staff, and then,
So I'm not really sure what kind of action we're looking for. I'm assuming what we should do is make a subcommittee to try and put this together. Would that be your recommendation
Yeah.
too?
I only suggested it on the old business, because until it's over, until it's done, we should keep it there.
Right, but I also, that February sounds far away, but it's not. I think we should at least identify who wants to be part of that planning committee, and we kind of roughly decide which week in January we should start talking, or
Mhm.
later, whatever. I don't want to make the decisions.
Are we, our house for this, or
Mhm.
someplace
That's
else?
what we say,
Mhm.
occupy. I agree.
That's fine.
Do you want to?
Yeah, it's fine.
Did you already check with Maxine to see if...
Actually, I'm not sure I have yet.
Are you going to send her to the movies
Let's-
again like you always do?
Probably will. Let's keep this tentative. I have forgotten to ask her. So
Okay, and I don't have my
she'll
notes, so I
groan, but
can't
she'll
remember
be
what our,
fine.
the second choice, if we're not at Neil's, was,
That always works.
did we say?
I don't know if we had a second choice.
I don't recall. I don't recall a second choice.
Okay, but we'll
Here,
find a
we
place.
could, well,
By that
yeah,
woman here,
we
she's
should
good for
have.
another month.
I just don't want to go to the last place that we went to. That didn't work too well.
Yeah. No, we want it, it's great at Neil's.
I can vouch for Andreessen's. It's a fine place in the afternoon. Okay, never mind.
Well, yeah, but Gail's Club has the pool table.
That's true. I was there that afternoon also.
Mr. Magoo's.
Yeah. We would have had to drive.
We'll find a place.
Well, I would suggest that either the executive committee
sure
or
you
the
ask
outreach and
Maxine.
development committee would be
First, yeah.
the committees to.
February 21st.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Well, that's
who would be
Rachel.
interested in,
I'll be on the committee
Okay.
since it's at your house?
since it's at my house.
You want to make sure that we don't have like a band or anything?
I'll help too. I can help
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Okay,
and I'll help.
I'll be part of it.
Okay,
It's a critical mass.
so,
Well, we're a quorum. We can figure it out all ourselves. No, actually, not.
Neil, Marcia, anyone else?
No, I think
We'll start with that.
that's a good start.
Okay. Do we want to make any other decisions about that now? I mean, this planning committee, will we also be forming up the agenda?
Yeah, I think so.
How do we want to do that?
I think
We'll draft
an
an
agenda,
agenda.
bring it to the January.
Bring it here to the,
January meeting. I could just throw
Yeah.
out, without being formal, I could throw out the fact that we're going to have basically a new staff and a new profile in the marketplace. We're serving cities now. And so those are kind of the things, is how do we streamline redefine or re-grasp the organization and shape it so that we can go into November and ask for 5 more years from the city.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
nice.
New staff, new job.
The January board meeting is not until the 20th, so we've got some time to meet before then. Do we want to do a calendar drill online with email?
Yeah.
Will you
it's-
look at your
it's
email
the
if we do
four-
that?
I always look at my email.
Okay.
So there's 4 of us.
Sometimes
you
a couple
read
of
it
days late.
and
but
reply.
Who else?
a lot of people say I
Cindy,
don't
are you
do
on it?
anything.
Yeah, I'm just putting words
Are
in.
you
I
on
just
Yeah.
read it and I feel, I'm
You,
gonna
Neil,
And Cindy.
Cindy, and myself.
Okay.
We could have the pre-meeting at this Yale Central Club.
Okay, so for a meeting before the 1:20 board meeting, okay. With that done, we're through with old business. New business, 11A, discussion of possible action on a financial review. Now you get to talk about it.
All right, well, so we discussed the financial review, and I gather it needs a vote to sign it, and I move that we approve the review and put me on the hook to sign it.
I so move.
Okay, you made a recommendation, that's
Yeah,
what you were saying on
right.
behalf of the committee.
Right.
You're making
Oh,
the motion
motion.
to approve it. Anyone want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Did everybody look at the financial review? I hope, I'm going to assume you did. Okay.
Did you bring the quiz? Are we supposed to do a pop quiz on the financial?
Really? How much did we budget for? No, okay. So, all right, so if there is no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Abstentions? You doing? Okay,
Okay.
Said aye.
I know you did.
When there
You're
was four.
multitasking. Okay, so the financial review has been
No
approved.
dates, just.
Just sign it, okay.
You need a pen?
You don't have a cold, do you? People who work in hospitals carry their own pens for a reason. Okay, so item 11B is a discussion and possible action on board committee assignments, which will take care of your concern earlier.
Can you say that again? Oh,
This is the part where we're going
Oh.
to discuss board committee assignments, so pay attention. Thank you. Is that yours? Is that part of it?
yes.
Yeah, that one's
Don't
the
do it.
adjusted journals. That goes to Brooke and adds up.
Okay, so, right now, okay, this is where we're gonna talk about taking, the finance committee and removing Pearson. The policies and procedures will remove Pearson.
Right.
And then, Mark, have you considered which committee you would like to serve on?
I have not considered that.
Why? Don't you want to play with us?
I didn't really look at which committees would.
Finance is really fun. And then in a year or so, you can take over the chair and you can be called the treasurer, which is really cool. Be
To resume builder.
it's a resume builder.
And
Okay.
I'll definitely take a look at that and have a decision for you guys next month, unless you need one
Okay,
now.
all right, because executive committee you don't need to worry about. You don't need to, that's already decided through our election of officers. And then finance committee is the money, as Neil just said. Nominating committee really only meets a couple of times a year. And that's right around June, July. And it's just to get ready for recruiting and getting people like yourself elected like we just did last time. So that's the nominating committee. Policies and procedures hasn't met in forever.
Yeah, we had a really strong year when we redid the policies, but we never, procedures are changing.
We
Yeah.
nailed the policies so good, we just kind of coasted.
Well, we did a lot of hard, good work that year. And I know that there's still some more things that you're looking at that you would like to see that committee do.
I would love to have a member handbook that sort of shows how to use the place and what we have, but the place has been changing every month, so.
So if you want to,
So we should make a video out of it.
Yeah.
Do a video handbook.
Yeah.
But that said, outreach and development is the most fun.
well, explain to them what it is, so.
Butter and Eggs Day Parade, events, development, ideas for how to,
We need to meet. We need to meet.
how to develop PCA,
Need to have a meeting.
publicity PR.
I feel like I'm an outreach kind of guy.
We should do something
Yeah.
for that.
You can be
Put your name
too.
there?
I could commit to outreach.
Yay.
Okay.
Nobody likes finance.
Aw, got his feelings hurt.
I actually like finance, but I just don't want to get in your personal space here, Mr. Fishman.
He's doing such a great job.
Yeah, yeah. Really sensitive about that.
Yeah, right.
But
So,
The board manual does speak.
Does he need to be
of
two or one?
committees. You need to be
Does
on
he
two
need to be
committees,
two?
but
yeah,
We're
I was
all
gonna
into
say,
We have two.
You gotta-
nominating or policies and procedures, either one of those
Give
is
another shot.
really simple. I mean, you rarely, this,
How about policy,
Okay.
since you don't have one?
Mark, there you are.
Since you don't have a policy and procedure committee, you have one now.
we do. I'm on it,
Right.
Tim's on it, and
Oh, okay.
Neil's on it, and now you.
Just a strong
I
one.
just
We
need to
gotta
have a
do
meeting.
something this year.
Yeah.
It's
We'll,
a
we'll,
strong-
we'll get a handbook together, because we gotta get this studio in use.
That's an idea.
We're gonna need to, and that's another good reason to redo
good
the
place
handbook,
for you
because
to
we
be.
didn't have a studio
Do that.
Yeah.
in the last one, so
I'd like to get
perfect.
together,
We've
sure.
got an old
Mhm.
template to use.
Oh, well, I've been working on that. Well, I stopped a couple years ago, but I did start work on it.
Yeah.
Took the old one, broke it apart, started to look at the different items. Zach
Okay.
took a shot at it.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Mark.
Great.
You made that easy. We did that, and then the last item is 11C, discussion and possible action on the 2015 Butter and Egg Day Parade plans.
So did I slip into a temporary coma that I missed the vote?
Oh, shit. Oh, shoot.
You slipped into the
Oops.
temporary coma.
That's right.
Beep.
We need to, yeah. Editing. Okay, so,
Back to 11B.
okay. Where can I take that up at? Okay, thank you, Mark, for volunteering to be on those committees. I think we need to take a vote on adding Mark to the Policies and Procedures Committee and
we-
the Outreach
so we
and
don't need a
Development
motion.
Committee. Yeah, we need a motion.
I'll move.
Neil's paying attention.
I'll second.
Neil move. Second.
Check that out.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay. Oh, you voted for yourself, right? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, it's
Yeah, I wasn't sure if
unanimous.
you
And
can
now
vote
you're
for
supposed to
yourself.
dance around like
Yeah.
that guy in the, what is it, the
Should've
hamburger
made a
commercial or
magician.
something?
No oppositions and no abstentions,
We should have
okay?
made a magician, I think.
Thank you, Mark.
And no
Thanks,
public
Mark.
comment.
Okay, now we can move to item 11C, which is discussion and possible action on the 2015 Butter and Egg Parade plans, Butter and Egg Day Parade plans.
What day
Better
is
than
that
egg
on?
days, I think.
It's day, it's Butter and Egg
It's egg
Day.
day, but
What's the theme this year? Do we know?
butter and egg.
Butter and eggs. There's no special theme.
They haven't sent the,
College
Yeah,
kids
there's
on the
always-
yeah, they
street.
haven't sent
Oh, they
the,
haven't decided
We
yet,
don't
I
need
don't
that.
think.
Oh,
Because they always
already
do a
decided
theme,
the
don't
date.
they?
Yeah.
so
Call Marie and
that
Jenny and ask
defines
Your
the
butter
flow.
and egg decorated.
no,
Yeah,
I
they'll
but
wish they
usually
would
have
get
a
rid of the
theme.
alcohol.
they've got it all into
Yeah, I don't think
the,
I'm holding my breath for that to happen.
It's not what they do.
they've got the
it's-
beer garden now. It used to be just you could roam, everybody roamed around and drank.
What is
That
the
was
date for that, do
scary.
you know?
It's,
April
oh, I
something.
just had it.
It's still scary.
It's always the third Saturday in April.
April 26th.
The
Is that what it
18th?
is?
Oh, that's 2014. Didn't even have 2015 here
Yes,
yet.
it was on the
18th of
26th this year.
April 18th.
Yeah,
It's the
just
3rd.
Yeah,
Why
it's
don't
always
they
the
put-
third Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Third.
So
April
it's
25th.
No,
April 20.
April
I won't
13th.
be
The
April
there.
34th, April 25th.
2015,
It's
April
the
15th.
What
18th.
is the
18th.
homegrown Petaluma?
That was
That was
last year.
Oh, that was us last year. Oh, yeah, that's right, 2014.
You
It
need a
doesn't say.
calendar function on that?
Yeah.
It just has the date.
Yeah, they don't update that
It's
website.
2000.
Yeah, it just has the
2015.
date though, April 25th,
So it's the 18th of April.
Okay, it's
the 25th.
I'll be in Istanbul.
no. Did they put the 25th?
Yes, it's on here, 25th.
2015.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's the 25th and not the 18th? That's the fourth one.
It's the 25th.
Okay.
It's on the sponsor packet.
Maybe they wanted to separate it from the antique fair. Which is, it's
Oh, you know what? It is the 4th. Excuse me,
Yeah.
I had it wrong.
Yeah.
April 26th was the 4th, so it's the 4th. I always thought it was the 3rd Saturday. No wonder I never could go. Okay, so April 25th this year. Just kidding, I went. I missed a couple of times though, but I was on doing good work. I was in New Orleans rebuilding.
Yeah, just to clarify for Mark, and the outreach to committee is usually the one that coordinates the parade, and the float. The presence in the parade is a board action or a board
The float-like
contribution.
appearance.
What?
The float-like appearance.
Yes. Float like a bee or sting.
It's a butterfly.
Staff is working on covering the event, so we can give support, but it's basically your show. The board's show is what walks down the street, and we've had a number of interesting operations. We've had flatbed trucks with bales of hay. We've had a limousine. That was cool, but it didn't really play. And the best ones are when we just walk down the street with cameras and dance, shout.
Can we not have a flatbed with hay bales and still have people walk down the street beside it?
As long as they don't get run over.
I just think it gives a bigger presence. I mean, our little wagon was pretty cute, but it didn't have a very big
Well,
presence.
Those are the decisions that need to be made in this process. How do you want to be there now?
Yeah, and we should probably put a subcommittee together for that also.
Could do that.
Come up with some ideas and bring it back here in January, because I think the early bird registration is in February, correct?
We usually get everything in the first week of January, we get the package, and we get till the middle of February or early
So
February.
I suggest putting this one off until the January meeting. Well,
Would
we
you
know
guys
what
consider riding in the art car, the Rhino art car that's in Petaluma?
what's the rhino? What is it? Looks like a rhino?
It's a local art car.
Is it open?
That's,
Send us pictures.
that's interesting.
Maybe
It's pretty
maybe
wild.
we could do our own art car.
Put a
You know,
PCA.
that would be fun.
No, this sounds,
Yeah.
It does. It does.
It exists,
Yeah,
right?
what we have to do is,
Something creative.
we have to, when we submit
It's a
our
local
application,
art car.
it
I'm
has
not sure
to,
if he'd be okay with doing that.
yeah. The thing is when we submit the application, whatever the theme is, our entry has to,
Relate to the
align
theme.
with what the theme is for the parade.
So they had a theme like something like Ship Ahoy Matey, so we put a life preserver on the back of the limousine.
Yeah,
We were,
the limousine was like
Yeah.
for a,
Well, I think we'd almost
Hollywood
have to wait and
event.
see what the theme
So
is.
yeah, so we'll know
but
by
you can,
January.
you
then.
can almost spin
Right.
anything to
Right,
the theme.
to
I mean,
make
if
it-
it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just decorate
April
it.
showers. we
What
put
was
a
it last
umbrella
year?
over the rhino.
It was
something about
homegrown media.
homegrown
This thing is
media,
wild.
which is why we had a garden.
Right,
Yeah, we had a garden.
Yeah, in a garden, yeah, but
and it's still
Right by growing
growing.
Maybe we can get a flatbed truck, and when we get rid of all our inventory, we could bring it and just like give it away. Or sell it.
PCA for sale.
I ran
A moving garage sale.
Turn the tape back.
Yeah,
I should have slipped in. I can edit it in. Our
Yeah.
city can edit it in now. I talked to when I did the financial review. I talked to him about liquidating. And garage sale's fine. Anything we want to do, we can give it away, donate it, throw it away. Just have to mark that it's gone.
That's an interesting way of marketing the garage sale.
Yeah.
Pass out free entry coupons.
Yeah. Good idea. I mean, yeah.
you wanna be on the committee?
No.
Okay. All right, who did it last year? It was the three of us,
No, I was out
wasn't
of
it?
town.
It was,
It was a cheerleader.
I think it was
Just the
you and
two of
I.
us?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Wow. You didn't help us?
No, I
I seem to
didn't.
think
Well,
that there was a third person.
I helped at first with
Yeah, I
the
think you were, like, at
ideas
the
and
first
stuff,
meeting,
but
yeah.
I
So
didn't.
is the art car?
I didn't help you put together the stuff and I didn't walk
Yeah.
in the parade.
Seems to me that anything that gets people's notice is a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. So if this thing is a cool car, we should go for it.
And I'll definitely.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask him.
Yeah. We'll check it out right away because
Can you
we.
check on that?
What about
Yeah, I can
talking
assume.
to Val Richmond nurturing that partnership a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
PAC
something,
and PCA
something,
get married.
it's just a, anagram.
Yeah. And we're almost out of T-shirts, so we've always made T-shirts for the parade, so everybody's wearing the same thing. So if it's a rhino, our new mascot is going to be a rhino. I wanted it to be a penguin. Nobody liked that idea.
It's a local thing.
Lennox has
It's
got
a
one.
local car, and it's pretty fabulous.
Nobody else is going to be fighting for it.
I don't know. That's why I said I have to ask him first.
Check it out fast, because
Yeah.
if we get it, get a coup.
Rhino, Republican in name only, that's a rhino, right?
I think it's RHINO.
Oh, okay.
Bipartisan rhino.
Republican hypocrite.
Now I hope I can get it.
You're going to have to make a new one.
Or you're gonna have to
Okay.
make one.
What else, do we wanna see come out of this, item?
Well, you-
Anything?
I'm going to talk about a committee to develop the idea.
Right, I think we just talked about, Kathy and I and Marcia, do you wanna?
Sure,
Mark.
I just,
Mark.
probably won't walk
Yeah.
in the parade, but I can-
Definitely
ride.
Mark, yeah.
I'll drive.
You could ride.
You could drive the rhino.
Yeah, I could drive
It
the
would be
rhino
nice
car.
this year to
You could
have,
take my parents' place.
an option as to whether you wanna walk or
dr-
not.
or- yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah, and we
We were
always,
lucky last year it wasn't 110 degrees.
yeah.
That was nice.
If it's 110 degrees, I don't walk.
Yeah. Ask
So it
me
was-
about the limo with David Glass. It was air conditioned.
And nobody could see what we were doing inside.
Oh, that was
Drinking.
I don't think you want to talk about that on
Champagne.
TV, do you?
No, we're not gonna talk about,
Okay. So
it was completely legit,
Of course.
yeah,
Cindy, you're in on this committee,
In-
right?
Perception is,
Okay.
yeah.
Cindy
And
Mark.
so,
I'll put down the committee too.
and
when
Rachel.
you hear what the theme is,
Yeah.
we can talk about it a little bit more.
Well, it's great that we're already starting. to talk
You?
about it. Good meeting.
So we really can't do a whole lot of it for Mark to check on the
Mark
rhino,
checks on
and
that and we,
and we'll wait till we get our packet in
And the theme,
January,
yeah.
so we know what the theme is.
Just have the
Okay.
date.
somebody wants to go spy
Spy?
when the visitors center. That's where they hang out.
Do what?
Oh, hi. Let's go spy on the visitor center. That's where they hang out before they decide.
Okay. Anything else? I believe we're done then.
Oh, no.
Everybody, in agreement, we should move to close this meeting? Waiting for a motion.
I so moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Aye, aye, aye.
Everybody be careful. It is pouring rain out there. It was already flooding when I came in.
I just,
Be careful. Thank you for being with us.